You can't fix what you won't face. That's the truth. That's where everything starts. Self-awareness. It's not sexy, it's not dramatic, but it's the foundation. Until you get honest with yourself about where you are, what you're doing, and how you're really showing up in your life, nothing's going to change. We live in a world that's obsessed with external success, chasing the next goal, the next title, the next relationship. But the real game? It's internal. Because until you know who you are and why you do what you do, you'll keep running in circles chasing change that can only start from the inside. Procrastination isn't just about being lazy. That's the lie we tell ourselves, so we don't have to dig deeper. Procrastination is fear in disguise. It's perfectionism wearing a mask. It's a coping mechanism, your brain's way of avoiding discomfort. You don't put things off because you don't care. You put things off because at some level you're scared. Scared of failing, scared of succeeding, scared of what people might. Because every time you do, you're proving to yourself that you can. And that proof, that becomes confidence. That becomes self-respect. That becomes the fuel that keeps you going. So the next time you catch yourself saying, I'll do it later, stop. Ask yourself what you're really avoiding. Is it fear? Is it uncertainty? And then decide to take action anyway. Not because it's easy, not because it feels good, but because your future depends on it. Procrastination is not just a bad habit, it's a thief. It steals your time, your goals, your life. Don't let it win. Choose now. Choose progress. Choose yourself. Your environment is either feeding your growth or fueling your decline. Most people don't even realize how much their surroundings are shaping their mindset, habits, and daily choices. You are not just a product of your thoughts. You are also a product of what you're exposed to day in and day out. The people you hang around, the conversations you have, the energy in your home, the things you watch, read, and scroll, all of it matters. All of it is influencing you, whether you notice it or not. If you're stuck, overwhelmed, or feeling like you're not making progress, you need to stop and take a hard look around. Ask yourself, is my environment supporting who I want to become or keeping me stuck in who I used to be? You can have all the ambition in the world, but if you're surrounded by people who settle, complain, and resist growth, it's only a matter of time before that becomes your standard too. Energy is contagious. Mindsets are contagious. You can't expect to stay driven if every voice around you is negative, passive, or playing small. You become what you tolerate. You rise or fall to the level of your environment. And this isn't just about people. It's about everything you expose yourself to. The clutter in your space, the noise in your mind, the chaos in your schedule, it all adds up. And over time, it either drains you or drives you. The hard truth is, sometimes the people you care about are part of what's holding you back. Maybe it's the friend who always makes excuses. Maybe it's the family member who discourages your ideas. Maybe it's the coworker who gossips and complains instead of improving. You don't need to cut everyone off, but you do need to create boundaries. You need to protect your peace, your focus, and your future. If someone isn't challenging you to grow, chances are they're keeping you comfortable. And comfort is the enemy of change. If your environment constantly reinforces the version of you that you're trying to outgrow, then you're in a daily battle just to stay on track. Imagine trying to become healthy while living in a house full of junk food, or trying to stay focused when your phone is buzzing every 5 seconds, or trying to build a better mindset while your closest influences are always complaining and blaming. It's exhausting, and it's avoidable if you're willing to take responsibility and start making changes. Changing your environment doesn't always mean relocating or reinventing your entire life overnight. It starts small. It starts with being intentional. Clean up your space. Silence the distractions. Curate what you consume. Seek out people who push you to level up. Find voices, books, podcasts, mentors that speak life into your goals. The more you surround yourself with excellence, the more it becomes your new normal. Your standards rise, your focus sharpens, your growth accelerates. People talk a lot about discipline and motivation, and yes, those matter. But your environment determines how hard you have to fight to stay disciplined. If you're constantly swimming upstream, it's going to wear you down eventually. But if your environment aligns with your values and vision, suddenly discipline feels more natural. Your choices become easier because they're supported, not resisted. Look at the places where you spend the most time. Are they inspiring you or draining you? Look at the voices you allow into your life. Are they building you up or holding you back? Look at the habits that are reinforced by your surroundings. Are they helping you or hurting you? These questions matter because your environment is shaping your behavior on a subconscious level. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And your environment is a system. Either it helps you win or sets you up to lose. Don't underestimate how powerful it is to design an environment that reflects where you're going, not where you've been. Start being intentional about what you allow around you. Your energy, your time, your focus, these are your most valuable assets. Protect them like your life depends on it, because it does. Your future, your potential, your peace, it's all on the line. If you want to grow, if you want to transform, you have to stop adapting to environments that don't support your evolution. Change the room, change the tone, change the atmosphere. Because when your environment shifts, everything else starts to shift with it. Self-discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's not about being perfect. It's not about having it all figured out. It's about doing what needs to be done, especially when you don't feel like doing it. And that right there, that moment when you don't feel like it, is the most important decision point of your day, because most people wait for motivation. They wait to feel ready. They wait for the mood to strike, the stars to align, the perfect energy to magically appear. And guess what? That moment rarely ever comes. That's why the people who succeed, who grow, who transform their lives, they don't rely on motivation. They build self-discipline. Motivation is emotional. It's temporary, it's driven by feelings, and feelings change with the weather. You can feel pumped 1 minute and completely unmotivated the next. But discipline is a decision. It's a habit. It's a muscle you train. And just like any muscle, the more you use it, the stronger it gets. When you choose discipline over comfort, you're casting a vote for the person you want to become. You're telling your brain, this is who I am now. I show up. I follow through, I get things done, and over time that identity takes root. Think about the people you admire. The athletes, the entrepreneurs, the creators, the leaders. They didn't get where they are because they were constantly motivated. They got there because they practiced consistency. They trained their mind to lead instead of follow. They didn't let their feelings dictate their actions. They built routines, systems, and habits that worked even on the days they didn't feel like working. That's the power of discipline. It gives you freedom. It frees you from the chaos of being controlled by mood swings and distractions. It grounds you in purpose. One of the biggest lies we believe is that discipline is restrictive, that it takes away our freedom, but the opposite is true. Discipline creates freedom. When you're disciplined with your time, you gain more time. When you're disciplined with your habits, your life gets easier. When you're disciplined with your focus, you make real progress. Without discipline, you're reactive. You're constantly putting out fires. You're always playing catch up. But with discipline, you become proactive. You take control. You move with intention. Self-discipline is especially important when no one's watching. It's easy to do the right thing when there's applause, when people are cheering you on. But real growth happens in private, in the moments where it's just you and your excuses, when no one will know if you cut corners, when no one is checking in to hold you accountable. That's where your character is built. That's where discipline earns its value. Because if you can keep promises to yourself, even in silence, you become unstoppable. Because each time you do, you're telling yourself a new story, one that says, I can handle this. And that belief will change your life. Think about the times in your life when you were most proud of yourself. The moments that really meant something. I guarantee they weren't easy. They required something from you. They probably scared you, but you did it anyway. And that's what made it meaningful. Fear doesn't show up to stop you. It shows up to show you that you're on the edge of growth. It's a sign that something matters, that you care, that you're about to do something important. And instead of running from that, you need to lean in. There is no growth without discomfort. You can't expand while staying in the exact same place emotionally, mentally, or spiritually. You have to be willing to feel uncomfortable, to take risks, to be seen, to be vulnerable. That's where your strength is built. That's where your future is forged. And yes, you might stumble, you might fall, but you'll rise stronger, braver, more capable. Every fear you face shrinks in size. Every fear you avoid grows louder, and you get to choose which one wins. The people who create real change in their lives, they're not fearless. They're just practiced at being brave. They've built the habit of facing fear instead of running from it. They've trained their nervous system to handle discomfort, and that is a skill, a powerful one that you can build too. Start small. Do one thing today that scares you, say the thing, send the message. Take the first step. Don't wait for the fear to go away. Move with it. Because fear is not a sign you're on the wrong path. It's often a sign you're on the right one. It means you're pushing beyond the edges of who you used to be. It means you're stepping into something bigger, something bolder, something more aligned with who you're becoming. So don't let fear be the reason you settle. Let it be the reason you rise. Let it be your teacher, your motivator, your fuel. You are never meant to live small. You are meant to grow, to evolve, to rise, and that starts by doing the thing that scares you. Today, time doesn't wait for anyone. Every single day, the clock is ticking. You don't get today back. You don't get this hour, this minute, this moment back, and yet so many people live like they have forever. They waste time waiting for the right opportunity, waiting to feel ready, waiting for someone else's approval. But here's the truth. Life is happening right now and you're not promised another chance. The time you're wasting today is time you'll wish you had later. Time is the most valuable resource you have. And once it's gone, it's gone. People think they can coast through life and somehow everything will fall into place. That one day they'll wake up and magically be disciplined, motivated, successful. But that day never comes for people who don't respect their time. If you're not intentional with your time, someone else will be. Your job, your phone, your habits, your distractions, they will all eat away at your day piece by piece until there's nothing left for your goals, your dreams, your growth. And what's worse, most of the time you won't even notice it because time slips away quietly. It doesn't scream. It just passes. Look around. There are people less talented than you doing more with their lives simply because they take action. They don't waste time. They don't make excuses. They use what they have where they are and they go. Meanwhile, you're hesitating, overthinking, stalling. And every second you do that, you're falling behind. Not behind someone else, but behind the version of you that could have been. The one who took their time seriously? The one who didn't treat life like a dress rehearsal? If you want to change your life, start by changing how you spend your time. Time is a mirror. It reflects your values, your priorities, and your mindset. What you give your time to is what you're building. If you give your time to distractions, you're building a distracted life. If you give your time to complaining, you're building a negative mindset. But if you give your time to learning, to taking action, to moving forward, even when it's uncomfortable, you're building a life of growth. You don't need more time. You need to start using the time you already have differently. Stop saying you don't have time. That's not true. You have time. You're just not prioritizing it. Think about how much time is lost in mindless scrolling, in worrying, in doing things that don't move you forward. Now imagine what would happen if you reclaimed even just an hour of that every day. That's 365 hours a year. That's over 15 full days. What could you build with that time? What could you learn? What could you change? Who could you become? Time is the one thing you can't earn back. You can make more money. You can rebuild relationships. You can recover from mistakes. But once time is gone, it's gone. And if you keep wasting it, you'll reach a point where regret takes over. That's the most painful place to live, in the space between what was and what could have been. Don't let that be your story. Don't let wasted time become your legacy. You have the power to start right now. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now, take control of your schedule, cut out what doesn't matter, say no to what drains you, create space for what matters most. Whether it's 5 minutes or 50, start using your time like it matters, because it does. Show up, be present, choose intentionality over habit. That's how change starts. That's how momentum builds. And yes, it's going to be uncomfortable at first, because choosing discipline over distraction is a radical shift. But that discomfort, that's growth. That's your future self pulling you forward. The version of you that doesn't waste time, that person is already in you. You just need to start making decisions that align with them. Respect your time, and you'll start respecting yourself. Honor your time, and you'll see results you never imagined. Because when you take time seriously, life starts taking you seriously too. The clock is ticking, not in a way that should scare you, but in a way that should wake you up. You're not behind, you're just distracted. Reclaim your time, reclaim your focus, reclaim your future. The life you want isn't waiting for the perfect moment. It's waiting for you to stop wasting the one you have. The people you surround yourself with are shaping your future in ways you may not even realize. You've heard the saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and it's true. Your conversations, your habits, your beliefs, your level of ambition, they're all influenced by the company you keep. If you're trying to grow, but everyone around you is staying the same, you're going to hit resistance. Not because you're not capable, but because growth requires a different environment, and most people don't want to change. You have to decide if you're going to lower your standards to match your circle or raise your circle to match your standards. This isn't about judging other people or thinking you're better than anyone else. It's about protecting your energy, because energy is contagious. If the people around you are constantly negative, playing the victim, avoiding responsibility, and making excuses, that mindset will rub off on you. It's not always obvious. It happens slowly, subtly, through the conversations you have and the energy you absorb. One day you stop dreaming as big. You start doubting your path. You hesitate when you used to act. That's the cost of staying around the wrong people for too long. And here's what most people won't tell you. Outgrowing people is part of the process. It's not easy. It can feel uncomfortable and even lonely at times, but it's necessary. You can't step into the next version of yourself while clinging to people who only know the old you. Some people are only meant to walk with you for a season, not a lifetime. And that's okay. It doesn't mean you don't care about them. It means you care enough about your future to do what's necessary for your growth. If you want to elevate your life, start surrounding yourself with people who reflect where you're going, not just where you've been. Find people who are driven, who are focused, who challenge you to level up. People who don't flinch when you talk about your goals. People who don't laugh when you say you want more. These people exist, but you have to put yourself in environments where they are. That might mean joining new communities, attending different events, having uncomfortable conversations, or even spending more time alone until you find your tribe. But it's worth it. Because when you're around people who are growing, something shifts. Your vision expands. Your standards rise. You start to believe in yourself on a deeper level. You get honest about your excuses, and you hold yourself to a higher level of accountability. That's what the right circle does. It doesn't let you settle. It calls you forward. It reminds you of who you are and what you're capable of. On the flip side, staying in the wrong circle will cost you everything. Your energy, your focus, your potential. You'll keep shrinking yourself to fit in. You'll keep downplaying your goals so you don't make others uncomfortable. You'll keep dimming your light to avoid outshining anyone. And the longer you do that, the more disconnected you'll feel from your purpose. That's not loyalty. That's self-sabotage. Letting go of toxic relationships, or even just misaligned ones, is an act of self-respect. It's a statement that your future matters more than your fear of being alone. And in that space, something powerful happens. You start to attract different energy. When you operate from a place of clarity and commitment, you naturally begin to align with people who are on that same path. People who don't just talk about success, they live it. People who are walking their talk. And when you find those people, everything changes. So, take inventory. Who are you spending the most time with? What do your conversations revolve around? How do you feel after interacting with them? Motivated or drained? Encouraged or discouraged, inspired or stuck? These answers matter because your environment is shaping your identity, and your identity shapes your destiny. You don't owe anyone access to you just because they've been around a long time. You owe it to yourself to surround yourself with people who reflect your values, challenge your limits, and celebrate your growth. Because your future depends on it.